Put 'em out like the burning end of a midnight.
There's a song George Strait has called the greatest country song ever written. A woman in Alabama had it played at her own funeral, a request she made years in advance. And one of the men who wrote it locked himself away for days, scared of what he'd just put on paper.
But never touched at all.
Country music doesn't do quiet heartbreak. It writes heartbreak into headstones, into whiskey bottles, into a driver who never saw the stop sign. Today, we're counting down the 10 saddest country songs ever recorded. The ones that made rhinestone cowboys cry backstage. The ones parents still can't get through without pulling the car over.
Go rest high.
Some of these you already know by heart. But I promise you, at least one story on this list you've never heard the real version of. And our number one entry isn't just a sad song. It's one of the strangest, most tangled true stories in the history of Nashville songwriting. A song that was almost handed to 3 different acts before the right voices ever touched it. Grab a tissue. Let's count them down.
She walks to school with a lunch she packed.
Number 10. Ode to Billy Joe, Bobby Gentry.
Was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty day.
July 1967. A Mississippi radio station plays a song nobody at the label expected to work. 3 minutes of a woman with an acoustic guitar, talking almost more than she's singing. That's Bobby Gentry.
And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge.
And the song is Ode to Billy Joe. On the surface, it's simple. A family sits around a supper table, Mama passes the biscuits, and somebody mentions, almost as an afterthought,
Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please.
that Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Here's what makes it haunting. Gentry never tells you why he jumped. She never even tells you what he and the narrator,
Joe, anyhow. Seems like now.
supposedly threw off that bridge earlier. Radio stations across the country lit up with theories for months. Gentry always refused to say. She wasn't interested in the mystery of a death. She was interested in something colder.
Brother said he recollected.
A family so numb to tragedy that a boy's suicide barely interrupts dinner. The song hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 that August and later became a feature film.
I'll have another piece of apple pie.
But here's the twist most people miss. Gentry wrote almost the entire thing herself in one sitting. Melody, structure, all of it. At a time when women writing and producing their own country records simply wasn't done.
I saw him at the sawmill yesterday on Choctaw Ridge.
The sadness of the song became so famous, people forgot how radical it was that she made it at all. Number 10 sets the tone. Number 9 turns that grief personal and gives it a face a lot of you in the comments are about to recognize.
Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite?
Number 9. Don't Take the Girl, Tim McGraw.
Johnny's daddy was taking him fishing when he was
A little boy stands on a riverbank holding a fishing pole, begging his dad not to bring the girl next door along on their trip. Cut to years later, same man, same riverbank.
me Thompson, take my best friend Bo.
Praying to God for the life of the woman he's about to marry. That's Don't Take the Girl, written by Craig Martin and Larry W. Johnson. It became Tim McGraw's very first number 1 single back in 1994.
Same old boy, same
Structurally, it's one of the sneakiest songs on this list. It disguises itself as a childhood story for the first 2 verses. You think you're watching a kid whine about a girl tagging along. Then verse 3 lands.
He held her tight and kissed her lips in.
And that little boy is a grown man in a hospital hallway, and the title suddenly means something completely different. That's the trick great country songwriting pulls off, using the same 4 words twice.
Would I tell you to? There won't be any harm.
And making them mean opposite things by the end. McGraw was 27 and a virtual unknown, and this song is widely credited as the single that turned him into a headliner rather than an opening act.
Here's a key to my car, Mister, give it a whirl.
It's still one of the most requested tearjerkers in country radio history. But here's what a lot of listeners don't catch the first time through. The song never actually tells you if she survives. McGraw's own delivery goes quiet, almost prayerful, right at the climax.
Same old boy, same sweet girl.
That ambiguity is deliberate, and it's exactly why the parents in this audience, the ones who've sat in a waiting room themselves, say this one hits different once you've lived a little. Speaking of parents, our next entry is so quietly devastating.
Be a little warning, she says it's time to go.
It often gets left off Saddest lists entirely, because people don't want to admit it makes them cry.
But you'll have to leave, 'cause his mom.
Number 8. The Greatest Man I Never Knew, Reba McEntire.
Hello, but never touched at all.
A daughter stands at a funeral and realizes the eulogy she's about to give is for a man she never really got the chance to talk to, even though he lived down the hall her entire life.
He never knew. Came home late every night.
That's the quiet gut punch at the center of Reba McEntire's 1991 hit, The Greatest Man I Never Knew. This isn't a song about death by tragedy. There's no crash.
I never really knew him.
No bottle, no bridge. It's something almost scarier for a lot of listeners. A song about emotional distance. A father who worked, provided, and loved his family the only way he knew how.
Then the day.
And a daughter who spent her whole life waiting for him to say it out loud. Ask almost anyone over 40 in your own family about their relationship with their father, and you'll probably hit the exact nerve this song was written to touch. The irony sits right in the title.
Blowing across my life.
He wasn't a bad man. He might have even been a great one. The tragedy is, his daughter never got the proof of it, not until it was too late to ask. And that's the thread running through the rest of this list.
I never heard. I guess I'll never.
The saddest country songs aren't always about someone dying. Sometimes they're about someone dying with something left unsaid. Speaking of unsaid things, our next artist wrote the words other men couldn't say out loud, and never lived to hear how far his own voice would carry.
Things left to do.
Number 7. I Wonder, Do You Think of Me? Keith Whitley. May 1989.
Do you think of me?
A song about lost love climbs the country charts, sung by a voice so pure that critics were already calling him the genre's next great traditionalist.
That's still burning. Oh, my heart.
Weeks after I Wonder, Do You Think of Me hit number 1, Keith Whitley was dead. 33 years old, killed by acute alcohol poisoning, alone in his home. That timing is what makes this entry so gutting. The song was never written as a farewell. It's a straightforward honky-tonk heartbreak song about an old flame he can't shake.
I was your hero.
But because of when it landed, right as the world lost him, it became something else entirely. An accidental eulogy. Whitley's death sent shockwaves through Nashville.
Back then, could you see what our future?
He wasn't a cautionary tale from a bygone era. He was the guy everyone thought was about to be the biggest star in the format. His widow, singer Lorrie Morgan, has spoken publicly for decades about his struggle with alcoholism.
But I'd go back.
Using her platform to push addiction awareness in an industry that historically looked the other way. Here's the layer most casual fans miss. Whitley's death directly inspired one of the most famous tribute songs ever written in this genre. A song we'll get to later on this very list.
Think of me. I still love you.
Written by a friend who couldn't process the loss any other way except through a guitar. Grief, it turns out, doesn't just end a story in country music. Sometimes it writes the next one. Before we get into the top 6, and trust me, they get heavier from here. If you're the kind of person who believes these stories deserve to be remembered, and not just streamed and forgotten, that's exactly what this channel is built for. Hit subscribe. Every video here is fact-checked before it's written, because these aren't just songs. They're pieces of American history, and somebody has to keep telling them right. Okay. Number 6. This one made a man cry on live television, and he wasn't even the one singing it.
When you drive by school.
Number 6. The Dance. Garth Brooks. A young couple slow dances under string lights, unaware of everything waiting for them down the road, and the man singing about it already knows exactly how the story ends. The Dance was the 4th single of Garth Brooks's self-titled debut album, and to this day,
I didn't know the way it all would end.
many longtime fans and critics point to it as the song that made Garth Brooks. It hit number 1 on the country charts in 1990 and became one of the defining ballads of his career.
For a moment, wasn't that key?
The song he still closes concerts with, decades later. On its surface, it sounds like a simple breakup song, but Brooks has said publicly that he left the lyrics deliberately open so they could apply to any kind of loss.
Well, my hand changed it all, and now
Romantic or otherwise. The original music video reinforced that, using the song as a tribute to public figures who died too young, which reframed the entire song for millions of listeners.
the way it all would end, the way it all would go.
Here's the twist buried in the lyric itself. The narrator says if he'd known how the story would end, he might have missed the dance entirely. And then, in the very next breath, he says he's glad he didn't know. Because the pain was worth what came before it. That one idea, that the goodbye was worth the hello, is why so many people request this song for funerals of people who died far too young. It doesn't ask you to be sad it's over. It asks you to be grateful it happened at all. Our next entry takes that same idea and turns it into a full parable, literally putting strangers on a bus and asking which one of them deserves to make it home. Number 5. 3 Wooden Crosses. Randy Travis.
One was headed for vacation, one for higher education.
A farmer, a teacher, a hooker, a preacher. 4 strangers on a midnight bus bound for Mexico, and a driver who never saw the stop sign.
It's not what you take when you leave this world behind you.
That's the opening of 3 Wooden Crosses, written by Kim Williams and Doug Johnson, and released by Randy Travis in 2002. Williams said the concept came to him almost fully formed one night at home.
That preacher whispered, "Can't you see the promised land?" As he lay.
The mismatched group of characters simply arrived in his head, and the story built itself from there. The song became Randy Travis's 16th, and to date final, #1 hit. A genuine comeback for an artist who hadn't topped the charts in nearly a decade.
Heaven only knows, I guess it's not what you take.
It was historic in a quieter way too. Released through a Christian record label, it became the first gospel label single ever to reach #1 on the Billboard country chart. Here's the gut punch, and if you don't know this song, brace yourself.
Behind you when you go. That's the story that I.
There are 3 wooden crosses on the side of that highway. Only 3, not 4. The whole song builds toward one devastating question. Why does the preacher die while the prostitute lives? The answer, when it comes,
I'm that preacher who gave this Bible to my mama.
is one of the most quietly beautiful twists in country songwriting. And it's the reason preachers all over the country have used this song in actual sermons. It's not really about who survives a bus crash.
Side of the highway, why there's not 4 of them.
It's about what you hand off to someone else before you go. Speaking of what gets left behind, our next entry is about someone who never got the chance to grow up and leave anything behind at all.
3 wooden crosses on the right side of the.
Number 4. Concrete Angel, Martina McBride. A little girl in the same clothes every single day. Long sleeves in the summer heat. A teacher who notices and says nothing. Concrete Angel was written by Stephanie Bentley and Rob Crosby.
It's hard to see the pain behind the.
And became one of Martina McBride's signature songs after its release in 2002. Crosby has said the title came to him after seeing an angel statue in a cemetery, an image of something meant to protect.
And the rain, she stands hard as a stone in a world.
Frozen forever in stone. This is, by a wide margin, the hardest song on this list to sit through, because there's no ambiguity to hide behind. It's about a child who dies from abuse while the adults around her look away. McBride has said she almost didn't record it.
Concrete angel.
She worried it was too heavy for radio. She recorded it anyway. Here's the part most people don't know. After it came out, McBride started receiving messages, not just from grieving parents,
Caught in the hands of fate. When morning
but from grown adults who'd survived abuse themselves, telling her it was the first time they'd felt like someone actually said the truth out loud. The music video included the number for a real child abuse hotline.
dreams give her wings and she flies to a place where she.
And Crosby has said hearing that kids reached out because of it is one of the things he's proudest of in his entire career. It's a song built around one devastating irony. The world builds monuments to angels after they're gone, but rarely lifts a finger to protect the real ones while they're still here.
Where she's loved. Concrete.
If that one hit close to home, brace yourself, because our next 3 entries are the ones even hardened Nashville songwriters admit they can't perform without their voice cracking.
A broken heart that the world.
Number 3. Go Rest High on That Mountain. Vince Gill, 1989.
I know you're mine.
A young Kentucky singer named Keith Whitley, the same artist from our number 7 entry, dies far too young. Nashville is stunned into silence. And one songwriter picks up a guitar he doesn't yet know. Vince Gill started writing Go Rest High on That Mountain after Whitley's death, but couldn't finish it. The song sat unfinished for 4 years until 1993, when Gill's own older brother, Bob, died suddenly of a heart attack. That second loss is what finally gave Gill the ending he needed. Released in 1995, the song won the Grammy for Best Country Song and became, in Gill's own words, the one he suspects he'll be remembered for above everything else in a career full of hits. Neither Whitley nor Gill's brother is named directly in the lyrics, but Whitley is quietly referenced through the title of his own biggest hit, tucked into the very first verse for anyone who knows to listen. Here's the detail that turns this song from sad into sacred for a lot of listeners. Ricky Skaggs and Patti Loveless sang harmony on the original recording, both of them from Whitley's home state of Kentucky, both of them his personal friends. This wasn't a studio full of hired voices, it was a room full of people singing a friend home. Decades later, this song has become one of the most requested pieces of music at American funerals, period, across any genre. It didn't set out to be a hymn, it became one anyway. 2 more to go, and our number 2 entry is the song that country royalty itself has called, flat out, the greatest ever written in the genre. Number 2. He Stopped Loving Her Today, George Jones.
She told him
A man dies. His friends finally take down the photograph of the woman he loved his entire life, the one that had hung on his wall for decades, long after she left him for good.
oh, but he still loved.
That's He Stopped Loving Her Today, written by Bobby Braddock and Curly Putman, recorded by George Jones in 1980. It won Country Music Association's Song of the Year in back-to-back years, and is regularly cited by artists, critics,
In 62, and he had underlined.
and fellow songwriters as the single greatest country song ever recorded. Here's the part almost nobody knows. George Jones hated it. He thought it was too sad, too slow, unreleasable.
No tears. He was all dressed up.
A morbid song, in his own words, that no one would want to hear on the radio. Producer Billy Sherrill had to talk him into cutting it, and by most accounts, it took months of coaxing before Jones took it seriously. The twist in the song's meaning is brutal in its simplicity. For 3.5 minutes, the title sounds like it might finally be describing a happy ending, a man who's moved on. Then the final lines land, and you realize,
You know she came back today for her last time.
he stopped loving her today, only because they're carrying him out in a casket. He never stopped, not for one single day of his life. Jones was fighting his own well-documented battles with alcohol during this exact stretch of his career. struggles that nearly ended his life and his voice more than once. Recording a song about a man who loved somebody past the point of death while fighting to survive his own demons is part of why so many people believe you can hear something painfully real underneath the performance.
I'm loving her today.
It was voted the greatest country song of all time, and it almost never got recorded at all. Which brings us to number 1, and I promised you the strangest true story on this list, because this song almost belonged to 3 completely different acts before it ever became what you know today. Number 1. Whiskey Lullaby, Brad Paisley and Alison Krauss. A soldier comes home from war, looks at a photo of the woman he loves under a willow tree, and finds her upstairs with someone else. He never speaks another word about it. He just starts drinking. And so does she, once she's alone with what she did. Whiskey Lullaby was written by legendary songwriter Bill Anderson and John Randall. And Randall wasn't writing fiction. He'd just gone through his own divorce.
Go start your life, son. Thanks.
Lost his record deal and his songwriting deal within days of each other, and was crashing on a friend's couch, drowning himself in a bottle. When he finally sobered up enough to apologize for how he'd been acting, his friend told him something close to, "Every now and then, you've got to put a bottle to your head and pull the trigger." Randall wrote that line down before the guilt even wore off. It became the spine of the entire song. Here's the story almost nobody knows. This song wasn't written for Brad Paisley. It was first pitched to the Chicks, and they had it on hold, ready to record, until controversy around the band derailed their career in 2003, and the song came free again. It was also offered to Dierks Bentley, who turned it down flat, saying it was simply too depressing to sing every night for the rest of his career. It finally landed with Paisley, who made the decision that changed everything.
Trying to forget. We watched him drink his
Turning a one-voice song into a devastating duet, and asking Alison Krauss to sing the second half. Released in 2004, it won Song of the Year at the CMA Awards and has been certified multi-platinum. But the awards were never really the point. The reason this song sits at number 1 isn't the trophies, it's the structure. Verse 1.
to his head and pulled the trigger.
He drinks himself to death from heartbreak. Verse 2. She does the exact same thing, from guilt over what she did to him. 2 people, torn apart by one mistake, dying of the same broken heart in 2 completely different houses. And that,
Note that said I love her till I die.
more than anything else on this list, might be the truest thing country music has ever said about grief. It doesn't end when the marriage does. It doesn't end when you walk out the door. Sometimes it just moves in and takes the place of everything you used to feel instead.